Alright guys, so we just recently got, literally a few minutes ago, just got an upgrade or an update to our roadmap. So what I'm going to do is go through, I'm going to tell you what's changed, I'm going to tell you the percentages, and basically lay it all out for you. I do have an Excel spreadsheet that I've developed. I've sort of taken bits from different people, put it all in one sheet. I won't release it yet, but something that I will be releasing in the future. But it's not quite finished yet. But let's jump into it. So for 3.5, we have 3 characters. So we have the mission giver, Takai Persebio. She has gone from 63% up to 63%. She's now 29 out of 46. DNA face customization is 80 out of 120. So that has gone from 56.7%. It's changed by 10% up to 66.7%. And the playable female character is 81 out of 102. So it's now was 79.4%. It is still at the same. Some of those may sound like they have changed, and that's because obviously the total tasks have changed. There has been a lot of movement in the total tasks. So obviously, yeah, it sort of makes it sound like nothing's really changed with those, but they have. So yeah, it's good. Right, so let's move on to ArcCorp. So ArcCorp is 30 out of 37. It was 28, so that is, it was gone from 75.7 up to 81.1. ArcCorp Lyria is now 12 out of 14. It was 11, so it's gone from 78.6 up to 85.7. ArcCorp Moon Walla has gone from 4 out of 6 to 5 out of 6, which means it's gone from 66 to 83. And Area Landing Zone has gone from 319 to 359. It also has grown too with the total tasks, so it has now gone up to 512. It was 62.3%. It is now 71%, or 70.1%, sorry. But like I say, that total tasks have grown, so that's why that doesn't sound like it's changed much, but it has. It's actually gone up by about 40. So let's go through and let's go to the AI. So AI FPS collision avoidance is now 1 out of 3, which is the same as what it was yesterday. Last week, which is obviously 33%. Basic gun behavior is still the same, which is a 1 out of 2, which is at 50%. AI flight model update has 12 out of 12. That is at 100%, so they're obviously polishing that. And AI ship combat behavior is now 2 out of 4. That's the same as it was last week, so that's at 50%. So system heat is 3 out of 11. So that has changed from 1 out of 11. So it's now gone from 9.1% up to 27%, 27.3 actually, so it's a big difference. AI bounty hunting environmental missions, so that was 0 out of 3, it's still at 0 out of 3, so no change. Vehicle scanning HUD is 16 out of 31. It was 11 out of 11 out of 31. So that has obviously gone up from 35% up to 51%. AI distress beacons is now 4 out of 5. It was 2 out of 5. So that's gone from 40% to 80% complete. Vehicle radar is still listed as scheduled, which is 0, which is a little bit concerning, but moving along. Quantum travel improvements has gone from 2 out of 14 to 4 out of 14. So that's gone from 14.3% up to 28.6%. Then the vehicle scanning improvements is now 14 out of 17. That is the same as it was. There's been no change on that. Ship degradation to improvements has gone from 2 out of 3, which is the same as it was. There's no change on that. Vehicle tech updates is 14 out of 22. Which is actually improved from 12 out of 22. So it's gone from 54.5 to 63.6. Group system improvements is still 1 out of 2, so no change on that. VoIP and VoIP is now 14 out of 30. So that was 12 out of, I think it was actually out of 29 originally, but that has gone from 40% complete up to 46.7. But like I said, that the final tasks or total task has actually changed on that. Distortion improvements or damage improvements has stayed the same at 6 out of 7. And gimbal weapons improvements have gone from 2 to 3 out of 3, meaning they are complete. And extended delivery missions is now 1 out of 4, which is the same as it was last week. Now, ship vehicles and reworks. So, the Origin 300i is still 44 out of 79, so no major change on that. The Origin 315p is still 2 out of 10. The Origin 325A is still 2 out of 10. The Origin 350R rework is 2 out of 10. So they've not made a lot of progress on the Origin series. But they still have time. Obviously, they're going to bring in the flight model before anything else. So I'm not so worried about that. Bennu Defender is 13 out of 31. Which is obviously 41.9%. The Misc Reliant Tanana, getting that name wrong, is still 3 out of 10. The Misc Reliant Sen is 27 out of 34, which is still obviously the same as it was, 79.4%. And the Misc Relio Malanka, I'm getting that wrong, is 3 out of 10, which is the same as it was, sitting at 30%. Now, the Bennu Siege Tac-On Cannon is 6 out of 25. It has improved from 4 out of 25, which means it's gone from 16% to 24%. The Gemini S71 has gone from 18 out of 29 to 19 out of 29, so it's gone from 62 to 65%. The Galson Tactical Systems has gone from 5 out of 23 to 8 out of 23. So it's gone from 21.7% up to 34.8%. And the Karaska Kodak is now 16 out of 26, where it was 15. So that's gone from 57.7 up to 61.5%. Sorry. Cortec. The Asynchronous Disconnect Reflector is now 12 out of 33. That has gone up from 4 out of 33, which is quite a big jump. It's gone from 12.1% up to 36.4%. The Network OCS stall fix is gone from 0 out of 10 to 1 out of 10. So that has obviously jumped up slightly. The new flight model is 126 out of 144. That has improved since 124. The projectile manager has improved. It is now 12 out of 17 instead of 10, so that's slightly gone up as well. Hard surface shader improvements has gone from 3 out of 4 to 3 out of 4, so it stayed the same. Sorry, and performance optimization is now 3 out of 3, where it was 2 out of 3. So that is now complete at 100%. Apart from that, guys, the 3.6, there hasn't been any real major movement on this. The only thing that's really changed is harvestable entity spawning under Cortec. So I'll show you where that is down here. And there, the one below there. That is now 2 out of 6. That was 1 out of 6. And apart from that, that is really all that's changed when it has come to the 3.6. Now, 3.7 obviously has gone through. The only major difference in this is that they have added physical entries into the gameplay section. So I'll show you that here. Physical inventories is here. That has been added, but it's still listed as schedule. Apart from that, nothing else in this has really changed at all. And for 3.8, nothing has changed at all either, which is obvious because, well, they're working on 3.5 at the moment, so no real major changes on that. So at the end of the day, obviously for the total figures, 3.5, which is the one we really care about at the moment, it has gone from 59.4% up to 65.61%. It is now 996 tasks out of 1,518. So it's getting there. And they still obviously do have a bit of time to work on this. They are handing out the flight model before anything else. So they can work on the rest of it still while the flight model is being worked on as well, modified and tested. Now, let's jump over to Squadron 42. Because there's been a couple of changes on this as well. So the most of the changes is actually only in the first quarter. So we'll go through that now. The Ballast Armor Adversary, it was 3 out of 11, is now 4 out of 11. So it's gone from 27.3 up to 36.4. The Gunner, for example, is now 6 out of 11. It was 5 out of 11. So it's gone from 45.5 up to 54.5%. And the DNA face customization is now 29 out of 33. It was 27. So that's gone from 81.8 up to 87.9. So that's a total of 6%. Now, after that, the AI, which is what we all really care about, because that's obviously what's going to be slowing down Squadron, is still at the same at 1 out of 6 for AI spline paths. FPS collision avoidance is still the same at 1 out of 3. So, yeah, nothing's really changed on those two, but there's not a lot left to do on them, like considering it's 1 out of 3, 1 out of 6. It's not too bad. Gameplay, which has changed a little bit. FPS Stealth version 2 has stayed the same at 0 out of 0. So that's 0%. Distortion damage improvements is still 0, which is still scheduling. Heat has changed from 1 out of 11 to 3 out of 11. So that's gone from 9.1 to 18.2. Vehicle HUD is now 6 out of 13. I believe that was actually less than 13 for the total task. I believe it's grown, but it was also 4 as well. So it's gone from 30.8% complete up to 46.2, which is a bit of a change. So vehicle radar version 2 is obviously complete, 100%. So nothing's needed there. New atmospheric flight model is now 3 out of 5, which is the same as it was last week, so nothing has changed on that. The new flight model itself is 122 out of 144, so there's been no changes in regards to Squadron 42 on that. Vehicle scanning is still stayed the same at 5 out of 6. Playable carryables version 2 has improved slightly. It is now 35 out of 60 instead of 33 out of 60. Player free look is 5 out of 12 instead of 3 out of 12. And also player jump has also improved as well. That is 6 out of 27 instead of 4 out of 27. Now for Cortec, the organic shader is now stayed the same at 9 out of 11, which is obviously 81%. Water physics has stayed the same at 1 out of 1, which is completed. It's 100%, which is obviously great. Atmospheric effects has still stayed the same at scheduling, which is a little bit concerning, but moving along. Hard surface shader is listed as complete, which is obviously 1 out of 1, which is obviously great. Ragdoll improvements is completed as well, which is obviously the same as it was last week, 2 out of 2. Projectile Manager is 5 out of 10. That was the same as it was last week, so no change on that. Weapons Effect is obviously still listed as scheduled, which is obviously a little bit concerning. And Particle Lighting version 3 is listed as complete at 1 out of 1. Now, the missile launcher is now 18 out of 37, which has gone up from 17 out of 37. And the multi-tool is now 15 out of 32 instead of 14 out of 32, so that is also slightly improved as well. Apart from that, guys, for change, the only thing really that's changed in quarter 2 is the flight standard pilot, which is under AI, and I'll show you that here. That one there. That is now 3 out of 15 instead of 1 out of 15. So that's gone from 6.7 up to 20%. So that has changed. And apart from that, that is all that's changed in quarter 2, which is reasonable because they're obviously working on quarter 1. Quarter 3, there has been no change at all for quarter 3. So nothing really to talk about on that one. And on quarter 4, there is no change. There's 2 changes, which is the Bengal. So we'll go down to the ships. And Bengal here is now 12 out of 41. I believe that has also improved with like or gone up with the total tasks. That was 10 reportedly. Now that is 12, so that obviously has grown, which is obviously great news. Apart from that, the alpha and the beta, nothing has changed on that. So they're all the same as well. So just obviously for total statistics, quarter 1 of Squadron 42, it was 264. It has improved by 16 tasks. It is now 280 out of 439, which means at the moment it's gone from 60.14% up to 63.78%. So it's slightly improved and it's getting towards the getting there slightly done. But guys, yeah, apart from that, obviously at the end of the day, that's the major things that's happened. Look, let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. What are you most looking forward to? What are these? Which of these models or modules are you most looking forward to getting your hands on? There has been a lot of changes, mostly in the first quarter and also both first quarters of Squadron 42, and also for the PU. So that is obviously great news. But yeah, let me know what your thoughts are in that comment section below. If this video has been helpful, please smack a like. If you're new to the channel, welcome and subscribe. Don't forget to click that bell. Apart from that, guys, I'll see you in the next demonetized video from YouTube. Have a great day and enjoy.